Hello traders, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get around or how to get started with the MT4 platform, the MetaTrader 4 platform. Like I titled, this is the most detailed video you're going to find on the internet for MT4 tutorial. Alright, so many traders, beginner forex traders, they struggle to understand the MT4 interface and they don't know how to go about it at the start. I used to be like that, but I learned over time. Alright, so this is how you go about it. The first thing you need to do is to download the MT4 platform. So you could come on Google and say MT4 download, and then once you on Google, you scroll down to this one, you see metatrader4.com. So this is the main MT4 trader, MT4 platform website. You can see metatrader4.com. Then you scroll down, this is for Meta 5. If you scroll down, you're going to see MetaTrader 4 for PC, and then you click on download. And then once you download it, it's going to run through your system download, and then you can install it on your own PC. But for me, I use this broker Equity. This is the current broker I'm working with. So you could sign up with them. You can find the link in the description of this video. They have good amount of spread, very low spread, and it's a very innovative broker that you can start using for your forex trading. So this is the broker I'm going to be using. I'm already logged into my dashboard. So on the dashboard, this broker offers you a good MT4 trading platform. So you can just come here and click platforms, and then you say download for Windows. So this download for Windows, you see, I'm going to download with my download manager, and that is all. So what I'm going to do is to go to downloads and then install the MT4 platform. Alright, so right here on my desktop, you can see the MetaTrader 4 setup. So I'm going to right click and say run as administrator. So you could go through this, click next. Once you click next, the MetaTrader 4 starts installing. It's going to take a few seconds. Alright, very good. You can see congratulations, we're waiting for you. Then you click finish. You could close this. So once you're done installing, you come here and double click to open the MetaTrader 4 platform. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. You can see this is how the MetaTrader 4 platform looks like for the first time opening an account. So, but what I advise people, you don't need to be worried. So many traders get confused because of so many things that is just popping out on their faces, so they don't know what to do at the start. So what I'm going to say you do is that if you have your login details, maybe this broker you've already signed up, they're going to give you what they call the MT4 login details. That is what you're going to use in filling, and then you click next and you put in your login details, and then you'll be signing to your own account. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use a free demo account. I'm going to click next and say new demo account. Next, and then I could type my name. I could just type my name very fast, use my mail, and then the number must not be correct. I could just put any number I want. Is a demo account. Could just put any number very quickly. Could just put any number. Deposits, I'm going to start with maybe $3,000. My leverage, I'm still going to use 1:500. I can agree to the newsletter and then next. Alright, so I've immediately opened a demo trading account. So what I'm going to advise you do is to copy these login details. You can see your login ID and your password, and then this investor's password is for your investors. Maybe someone wants to know what is happening in your account, you could give them your investor's password. Alright, so for me, I'm going to take a screenshot of this information by pressing print screen. So once I print screen, I've taken a screenshot, and then I could save it as an image, and later I'm going to come back to it. Alright, so after that you click finish, and once you click finish, you can hear the sound. It's going to make a little sound.
Incoming mail.
And that's it. You're now logged in to your MT4 platform. You can see here demo account. This is the account number, and it's giving you all the information. Alright, so after you've done all that, what I would say you do is just to close this pop-up button, this pop-up window, and then don't be scared about the platform. Don't be worried because of the too many information. Just follow me and I will take you through. So first thing you need to do is just to maximize one window, that is the chart. You maximize this window for the chart, and then if maybe you didn't open an account at the start, you could still come here and click file, and then you see open an account. So if I click open an account, I will still come back to that first window I saw. Alright, but here once you log in, you see your connection status at this down point, this bottom area. You see your connection. That means the MT4 is connected and the market is live and it's moving. Alright, let's go over to the chart setup. For the chart setup, so you don't get confused, first I'm going to click this arrow. I'm going to hide this button, and it's already on candlesticks chart. For some, this one, you can see this one, it's on bar chart. This one is on bar chart. This one is on candlesticks chart. So let's say, for example, this one it's on bar chart and I want to make it a candlestick chart. I'm going to come here at this top right corner. You can see candles, and I'm going to click candles. You can see if I click line chart, it's going to change to line chart. If I click bar, but I'm going to use candlestick. So candlestick chart are more better for analysis. Alright, then looking at this left corner, you see market watch. Let me drag this out a little so you can see them clearly. You see the informations on this market watch is showing you the total amount of pairs that are available. If you right click and say show all, it's going to show you all the pairs that these brokers are offering. Are you seeing? So in this market watch, I could add another pair by simply right clicking on it and say chart window. Voila, you can see this new pair has been added. Okay, and then observe at the bottom here, you're going to see all the chart windows, all the ones that you've opened, they are all minimized, and this is where they are. So this chart is on bar chart. I'm going to click on candlesticks, and then you see I've turned it into a candlestick chart. And then you could click you could drag from this point down into here, and you're going to open a new chart. That's still another pattern. You can see I replaced the old chart with this one. It's all the same thing. So this is the market watch. This is where you have all the pairs. And then if you observe here, you're going to see a time, market watch 5:45. This time it's your broker's time. It's the current time the broker it's working with. So now let's get to setting up our chart to be more favorable to the eyes. So this is the chart. Let me start with Euro USD. First, I'm going to take out this grid. For me to take out this grid, I could say Ctrl G. I'm going to take out the grid lines. You can see Ctrl G. I'm going to take out the grid lines. And then I'm going to right click and go to properties. So properties are the settings for this current chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the chart to the way I want it to be and save the template. So for the color scheme, I could say black and white. If I say black and white, you can see it has changed. If I click OK, I'm having a black and white chart. If you observe, there is an indicator that has been added by default on this chart. How do I take up this indicator? Is just by coming to it. It's a moving average. If I right click, you see the information on the indicator, and I'll click delete indicator, and that's all. I've taken out the indicator. So let's go back to the chart setup. So now my background is white. The foreground is this price figures you're seeing by the right. So that is the foreground, and then my grid, already the grid is off. The bar, I could use this color for the wicks. These are the wicks. And then for the bull candle, I could use this color. All right, and then okay. So I like my chart this way. I can see it more clearer now. I can see the buyers and the sellers candle. The buyers are green and the sellers are black. So having set up my chart this way, what I'm going to do is to save this template, because this is how I want my charts to be looking like. If I come here and add another chart, let's say Euro GBP, and I say chart window, you can see I've added this chart, but it's still showing the previous this default chart method. So how do I do this? I'm going to come to this one I've already set and say template. Okay, if I set template, I'm going to save template. So this template, it's the way your charts open. It's kind of like a settings for your chart. I could say MT4 chart. Alright, so if I say MT4 chart, if I come to this one and click on templates, load template, I'm going to click on this template I just saved and say open, and automatically it's going to apply the properties of the chart on this one. But sometimes it could be stressful, because if I add a new chart, if I click on chart window, I'll still be putting this template every time. But this is a little hack I'm going to give you for the sake of this video. Now for the sake of this video, I'm going to share you this hack. What I'm going to do, I'm going to save this template as default. So on this template name, what I was advised to do is click default. If I click default, it's going to automatically take this template as the default template of my MT4. So if I click save and now I open a new chart window, you can see automatically it's giving me green and black. So the settings is now a default settings. Alright, so let's look around some of the tools that are around this MT4. This button here is to close this market watch. I'm going to close it. The navigator button is giving you the information about your account. You can still use it to add indicators, but you know I'm not a fan of indicator, so I'm going to close this. And at this bottom part is called the terminal. The terminal has some information. The trade is giving you your trade amount, and if you have any running trades, it's going to show up there. Exposure, giving you some information about your account. Your account history is going to give you if the statistics about your account statement, and then some other few things, but I'm going to close this tab for now so I can see my chart in a very wide view. Alright, so there's a tool we call chart shift. So the market is here. If I click on chart shift, it's going to move it to this point. I could still drag this chart shift to anywhere I like. If I click on this one, that is scroll to the end on tick incoming. If I move this chart to this point and I click this button, it's going to bring me to the end. Alright, but I'm going to uncheck it and then leave only chart shift. And then the next thing is zoom. I could zoom into this chart at this point. And one beautiful thing about this zoom is that the market will always keep the candles from the highs to the low. Once I'm zooming, it's going to give you an information from the highs to the low. You can't see where the chart is going up to this point or going down to this point. It will always accommodate this chart screen to give you information from the highs to the current lows. And next one, it's the crosshair. Now this crosshair, what does this crosshair tool do? It helps you to measure some distance in the market. For example, if I want to measure how many pips from this point up to this point, I'm going to click on the crosshair tool and then drag from this point I want up to this point. Now there is one thing that confuses traders. Just keep your eyes on this crosshair. Let me explain. On this crosshair, there are about three properties. There are about three figures that you need to observe. While I'm dragging the crosshair, you see that the numbers are increasing. Now, the first one, 6, I'm still dragging it, now is 7. What the first figure tells you, it's the number of candles that you have cut across. So, as I'm dragging the crosshair, it's counting the number of candles that have crossed. So now you can see that 9 is simply telling me 9 candles for the 4 hours chart. And then the second figure there is 1370, 1370. This 1370, it's simply 137 pips. If I bring it down, it is 63.2 pips. 3 candles, 63.8 pips. And then the last one is the price line or the price tag. This is 0.70630. That is the current price figure for this level I am. Okay, so this is how you use the crosshair. If I drag from this point to this point, it's telling me 7 candles, 71.5 pips, and then 0.71475. That is the price figure. Then here is to draw horizontal vertical line. If I click and drop it there, I've already drawn the line. How do you copy a line? You could double click on the line, hold Control, and then drag. If you hold Control and drag and you release, you're going to copy this line. The next one is trend line. For you to draw trend line, you could just click the trend line button, the trend line toolbar, and then you draw. But if you observe, the line is going far and far. So what I do, I'll come to trend line properties, and then on parameters, I'm going to uncheck this button, this ray. The ray button, it's simply the button that is the tool that is making it to go far. And then visual, it's okay. I could change the color of this line to be blue. I could increase the thickness here. Okay. Alright, you can see the trend line is now looking good. I could just arrange it a little, make it straight, make sure it's straight. And then these 3 points you're seeing on this line are called nodes. So these are the areas that helps you to move around. So from here, if I drag, I'm dragging the lower part. From the center is to move it around, and from this point, I'm still going to drag the trend line around. Okay, so with this one, I could place the trend line anywhere. Sorry, my mouse is clicking. Okay, so I could still drag from any point I want. Alright, so that is for the trend line too. This one is drawing an equidistance channel. I don't need this too. Most of the time I don't make use of this. It's just to draw a channel. This one is the Fibonacci. Yeah, you could use this to draw your Fibonacci, draw from high to lows. And for the Fibonacci, you could still edit it by double clicking and then click on Fibonacci properties. I could make the Fibonacci levels to be black so I can see them properly, and the red, it's the diagonal line. I can click OK, and you can see my Fibonacci tools is all set up. I could click delete to press delete to delete that Fibonacci, then draw this text tool. If I click on it, I could write text. I could say MT4 tutorials, and then click on this color, make it blue. I could increase the size to 14. I could just play around with this, and that's all I need. If I double click, I'm going to drag it to anywhere I want, and that's how to add text. Then this one is like drawing your text. It's still another way to add text. Still another way to add text on your chart. Then you can see here, these are symbols. You could add a thumb. If I click on arrow, if I increase the thickness, it's going to increase the size of this thumb. Press delete to take that off. I could put a price label by simply selecting it and clicking on, let's say for instance I have a horizontal line here and I want to put a price label there. I could use this price label to drag it down to this point. You can see as I'm dragging it, the price figures are changing, and then I'm going to place it at that horizontal line, and there I have the price label. Alright, then the next one is time frame. The time frame too, if you click on 1 minute, you're going to go into a 1 minute chart. If you click on 5 minutes, it's going to take you to a 5 minute chart. 1 hour is taking you to a 1 hour candle. So all these candles represent 1 hour. That is the meaning of this chart. Now you can see I will need to drag back to the end of this chart. All I need to do is just to click this button or to scroll, and it's going to bring me to the end of the chart. Alright, so that's for the drawing tools, and I've explained the crosshair tool where you measure with the 3 pieces of information. It's going to tell you the number of candles, the number of pips, and the price target. Alright, so for instance, let's say for instance the market is on and we want to take a trade. I'll click this arrow and I'm going to select the information I want to use in placing a trade, or I could simply zoom in. At this point I'll say trading and I'll say new order. If I don't use this new order, I could come here at this first button, you say create new order. Okay, this is create new chart, sorry. If I want to place a trade, I'm going to click new order. Now look at the information here. This volume is simply the lot size. The lot size you want to use for your trade. I'm sure you should have learned about lot size. I'm going to make a video about lot size and leverage. Now if I click lot size, the market execution, I would like an instant execution. If I click pending orders, it's going to tell me if it's a buy limit or a sell limit, a buy stop or a sell stop. I'm going to use market execution, and for this market, just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to sell. And you hear the sound, the sell trade has been placed successfully, and now the trade is running. And how do I see my trade? I could press Ctrl T. Ctrl T is going to bring up the terminal, and once I go to the terminal, I click on trade. You can see the information here. I have my trade running. I could drag this terminal a little bit up so I could get a better feel of the information. I can see it correctly, and I'll see all the information. Here you can see the time I took the trade, the type is sell, the size, the lot size, the pair, the price level, the stop loss, and the take profit. I've not added the stop loss and take profit. So let's say this is my entry and I want to add stop loss and take profit. So what I need to do, you can't drag this your entry point, so I will just come a little bit below it. Once I see the crosshair sign giving me cross, I'm going to drag from this point, and if I drag up to this point, it's telling me that this level is 31.6 pips. 31.6 pip, because the last one is pipette value. So for this, I could drag up to this point. If I want to use a 30 pip stop loss, I'm going to see the price information. Let's say I want to use 30 pips, 0.71411. So what I'm going to do is to right click at this trade. I could modify it from here, or I could come down to this point, double click. I'm still going to modify it from here. So I'm going to use 0.714, I think 411, and then I'll click modify. Very good. I have my stop loss set at the level. For my take profit, I could still use my crosshair and see how many pips take profit. If I drag down to this point, it's telling me about 35.3 pips, or 35 pips in total. Look at the price level, 0.70784. But I could still play around this by simply dragging this entry point, this sell trade. If I drag it down, it will automatically bring up my take profit, and you're going to see the pips. This is a very easier way to put stop loss and take profit. So exactly at 30 pips, I'm going to release my hands. Click this for the first time. I'm doing this, so I have to accept it, the one click trading, and then OK. Alright, so you drag to this point, 30 pips, OK. My take profit has been added. Is that clear? And that is it. If I zoom in, you see how all the informations look like. Then sometimes if the chart is not giving you what you want, you could drag this button, this levels, to reduce the chart size, or drag it up to increase. Most of the time I leave it increased. Now you can see the information. The trade is running there. If I scroll my mouse wheel down, I'm going to go back to the chart, go back to past history. If I scroll up, your mouse wheel at the middle point of your mouse, you could scroll up and down to go around the chart. And then secondly, for some of you that love indicators, you know I always tell you I don't use indicators in trading, but you could add indicators by simply clicking on this button. And if you want to use any indicator, let's say you want to use anyone, let's say you want to use maybe MACD or RSI, yeah, relative strength indicator, relative strength index. You could come here, set it up the way you want it. Let's say you want to use a period of 12, and then the levels you want to use, you can double click to edit this. You can say you want to use 20 and 80, and then the style you might use any color. Okay, all right. So let me close this terminal. So now the RSI indicator has been added. You can see this level is giving you 70%. That is the oversold. And this one here is 20. That is overbought. I could still right click. I could still come inside this indicator and right click to edit. Or I could simply right click here and say indicator list. If I click on indicator list, I'm going to see the indicator relative strength, and I click edit. I could change this color to be black, and I could change the levels or the parameters, anyone I want, or I could change the style, could increase the thickness of the line, okay, and close. Once I do that, you can see the indicator has been edited, and that is what I have there. The thickness of the line has been edited, and you can see them properly. But if I don't need indicator, I'm just going to come to indicator list and delete, because I tell you guys I don't usually use indicator, and I'm not a fan of indicator. But there's something in MT4. Some people use customized indicators. There's a way you could add your own custom indicators. I'm going to create a video for that in the next part 2 of this MT4. I'm going to teach you how to add a custom indicator on your MT4. Okay, so I've taken a trade. The trade is running. You can see the market is still revolving around the entry point. I've shown you how to take some trade. If you want to take a trade for if you want to take a pending order trade, you can right click and say trading new order, and then pending order. If it's a buy limit, you click buy limit. If I want to buy, okay, I'm not giving you this shortcut. If you want to use the crosshair, instead of clicking here, you could just click the middle point of your mouse. Once you click the middle point of your mouse, the crosshair is going to come out, and you can use it to measure the price. If I want to buy, let's say at 0.71026, I'm going to come at price and say 0.71026. You put in the figure, make sure you set your stop loss. Let's say I'm using 0.05 stop, sorry, the lot size. I'm using 0.05 lot size. I've not decided for the stop loss and take profit, but I'm going to place my trade. This expiry time is the time you want the trade to expire if it doesn't trigger, but most of the time I don't use expiry time. And then, oh, sorry, the price is not there. 0.71028, so 0 0. let me highlight it. So you highlight 0.71 028, I guess. Okay, perfect. So you can see buy limit, this is the information of the trade. Buy limit is here. So once the market comes down, goes through this line, is going to trigger my trade and the market will start buying. It's going to activate my trade for a buy trade. I could right click on this. I could right click around this trade order. I could drag if I want to change the position of the trade. Since it's not triggered, for a limit trade you can easily play with your entries since it's not triggered, but for this one that is triggered you can't change the entry. I could right click here and delete order, or I come to my terminal, Ctrl T, and then under here you could see the pending order running, the pending order information. You could set your stop loss, or you could right click there, modify or delete. So for this one, the pending order, I'm going to delete, and that's it. I've deleted the pending order. Okay, so I've talked about the terminal. For this, my running trades, you can see all the information. This is the price, the current price. This is the price I placed the trade. The commission and swap. The swap is if the trade is running overnight. If you right click on this running trade, you will see some information. If you want to add more order, you can add more order. For this profit, it's on as deposit currency. I could say as point. As point is telling me how many pips this trade has run, and you can see this is 1.4. So the market has not really moved. This is 1.4 pips, but many of us like using the deposit currency, that is in dollars. If I click as deposit currency, you see it's running at 0.28 cents, and that is that for the terminal. If I close this trade, if I close order, you can see automatically the trade closes. On my account history, you see the informations of the trades I've taken so far, and you're going to see my profit and loss, the credit, everything. You're going to see all the informations I have on the terminal history. And I think that is that for the basic things you need to understand for the MT4. Let's go a little bit advanced. And now I like taking out some tools I don't use. For this toolbar, you could manipulate the toolbar by dragging this out. This one is to add a new chart, profiles and all that. Most of the time I don't use all these tools. If I need market watch, I could just press Ctrl M and the market watch is going to come out. I could select any pair I want, so I don't need this toolbar. I could take it off and then drag this one up to this point and drag the time frame up to this point, so I could have enough space for my chart. You can see my chart is getting more wider. I have enough space for my chart, and then I could select the candles or any information I want, the crosshair, the time frame. These are the most important informations or the most important tools I want to be using for my chart. All right, this is templates. This is where you select any template you want, but you can see I've already saved the template to be the default. You can right click on this tools bar and customize it. So for these drawing tools, you can see we have the current drawing tools here. I could delete anyone I don't like the equidistance channel. I could remove it. It's going to come into this available ones, and then this is selected ones I'm currently using. I could add anyone, but for these ones I could add anyone. Okay, sometimes I use rectangle, so I'm going to click insert and rectangle is going to come here. I could move it up or down to the set the order I want, but I think is left is good. It's there. I could just modify this and then close. Now you can see I have the rectangle tool. I could use this to draw to rectangle. If I double click, I could modify it. You make sure you click at the node point so you can select it. Rectangle tools, I could change the color and double click out. I have my rectangle. I could double click and then delete. Or sometimes I might have different symbols, different lines and drawings on my chart, and I don't know how to manage them. I could just right click and say object list. So object list is giving you an information of all the objects you have on your chart. Let's say you want to take out the red candle, you can just check the red candle and say delete. Or the trend line, you want to edit only this trend line, you could come here, change the color, and then okay, you close, and I've changed the color of this trend line. I could come back to the object list, highlight all, and then delete. I could delete all the object I have on this chart, and then close. And that's it. I've taken out all the object I have. Alright, so I've been able to show you the drawing tools, how to modify them, and I've given you some keyboard shortcuts. Ctrl M for the market watch, Ctrl T for the terminals, and then you can see how I reorganize this toolbar. This is an advanced thing you need to do. I'm just showing you guys as part of what I do on my MT4 platform. Alright, so same on this chart, you could use the keyboard keys. If you press the back forward key, you're going to be going backward. If you press the forward arrow key, you're going to be going forward. And now observe, once you're pressing this keyboard keys, it's giving you 4 candles. Let me zoom in so you can see how this thing works. So observe the black candle I have. If I press forward, it's going to count 4 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is the current candle. If I press forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to count 4 candles forward. If I press forward again, it's going to count 4 candles forward. From here now, I press forward 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I'm pressing the forward and backward keys, it's moving in 4 candles dominations, and I'm moving either forward or backward in 4 candles. That is how the MT4 has been programmed to operate. Okay, so let's say for instance you're in some trading groups and you've done some analysis you would like to share with some of your friends. Let's say you have drawn some rectangles here. Let's modify the rectangle. Let's say it's in this color. Your rectangle is here. You have a trend line here. Yeah, you could modify the trend line, make sure it's straight. I could use blue, and then you've imputed a symbol that the market is going to go up from this point. I could just click up. I could edit this by increasing the thickness. Maybe I could put this as green, and you can see I've predicted that the market is going to higher. Maybe it could go up to this price level. You could add a price level there, a price label. You can change the color. You can use blue, and then maybe you could still add a trend line signifying that the market is going to run up like this. So let's say for instance you've done all this analysis, and for the sake of forums and groups you would like to share this chart, or you would like to save this drawing. So what you do, you click on File and then go to Save as Picture. If you go to Save as Picture, you're going to save a screenshot of this chart. So I'm going to use as active chart as it is. I'm going to use this one. Select this one as active chart as it is. Uncheck post to MQ. I don't want to post it online. And then click OK. Once you do this, you're going to choose a folder to save it. So I'm going to save it in my desktop. I'm just going to click desktop and say save. Once I do this, you're going to see the preview. You can see I've saved a screenshot of this chart automatically using the MT4 platform. Alright, and that's it. So this is an extra tool if you're doing multi-time frame analysis for advanced users like us. I might be analyzing. Let me put this template to default so I could get my, this is the chart properties. So let's say I'm currently analyzing two charts. Okay, let me open one more Euro USD. Control M, Market Watch, Euro USD chart window. I've added another one. I could drag this Euro USD down to this point, so I could have this one closely related. You could still play around with this. You could drag the chart if you want to set up the orders. So I want to be looking at Euro USD 4 hours and 1 hour chart at the same time. So for this situation, I want to look at the 4 hours chart and the 1 hour chart at the same time. Let me press the chart shift. I'll bring them to this the end of the chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to arrange window ties. So on window ties 2, I'm going to select this, and then all the windows I have, all the charts are going to pop up. So what I'm doing, I'm going to minimize all those ones I don't need, and then I'm going to set up this one like this. I could drag down to this point, and I could drag down to this point. So now what I'm doing, I'm currently doing a multi-time frame analysis looking at Euro USD 4 hours and Euro USD 1 hour. It's the same thing as Windows. You go to Windows ties, you could say tie horizontal. Once I click tie horizontal, it's going to tie the two windows horizontal, and I could choose tie vertically. It's going to tie vertically. If I don't want this, I could say if I click on cascade, it's going to bring the windows like this. But if I don't need this, I'll just click on this button, maximize button, and I'm going to look at one chart. Alright, so hope you find this video insightful. You could still play around with all the information you have here. You can see the shortcuts I'm using: Ctrl M and Ctrl T for terminal, F11 for full screen. Most of the time I don't use full screen. You could use F11 for full screen, and you could still press F11 back to bring it to normal windows. Then you could click on chart. You see some settings, tools, and all that. On the next video, I'm going to teach you how to add a customized indicator for your MT4 platform. And then still on this MT4, you could go to options. On tools, you could go to options. You can make some settings the way you want it. For this magnify sensitivity, if I increase this information, what this magnify sensitivity does is when clicking object on the chart, if you observe, if I double click on this, it's more easier. Sometimes you struggle to double click. So what you do, you use that to magnify the sensitivity, the pixel. I could select object by one mouse click. I use this setting, select object by one mouse click. So if I want to select this, I'll just click once, then double clicking like before, the default setting. So if I click once, and then I could drag and then modify that. So you could come here, play around with these tools. Make sure you know the default settings before you change them. You play around with these tools, and then it's going to give you more advanced understanding about how the MT4 functions. All right, so I think I've gone through all the tools. So if you're a person like me that hates
to waste your time, you want to come and learn something in the internet, I think this video is for you. I went straight to the point. So if you find this video insightful, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and then I'll really appreciate it. It's going to inspire me to make more videos. Hopefully next week I'm going to give you guys the part 2 of this MT4 video. Till next time, I wish you all good luck, good trading. Peace. Bye for now.